Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Tiny Tim's Minis. Today we're getting a little spooky. We're making a Slender Man Diorama. So, if you guys missed last week's video, make sure you hit up top. We got that going on. This week we're going to be building a Slender Man Diorama. It kind of fit in with the theme that we were doing. We've been doing cryptozoology the past couple times. But I felt like he kind of fit in with the whole let me sit around a campfire and tell a spooky story about a Yeti, a Sasquatch, Slender Man. What comes to mind? Spooky. What also comes to mind? Woods. We got that all in here for you. So, let's not waste any more time. Let's get into it. I started with my Cuppo minis. I was looking for a man with a suit. Slender Man is usually dressed in a business casual style. Quite the elegant gentleman. All I honestly needed was his torso, so I cut off his head and limbs. I left a little length on the arms and legs to give me a base for the legs and arms I would add later. I drilled some little holes at the end of the appendages to put the wires into. Then I started to add some clay onto the wires to make the arms and legs. It was a tedious process to first get the clay to stick and then make sure it was smooth and uniform all around. I got the best my patience will give me. I then added the head, and that was even more difficult than the arms and legs, but I eventually got it. I added some indents for the eyes and a little bump for the nose. I wanted to give his face some human-like features. I put him in the oven to harden up the clay, and then after he was done, I gave him a layer of Mod Podge just for some extra strength and support. To base this miniature, I used my 1x1 plaster cubes. I then used some Sculptamold to build up the terrain. Gave it a base layer of brown paint to hide the white. And then I used the paint as a glue for the first layer of dirt. After I sprinkled on the dirt, I sprayed some scenic glue on top to hold all the loose crumbles. I painted Mr. Man with a base of black for the suit and then some white for his head. I kept on adding layers until I felt it was enough. It took about 3 or 4 coats of black to make sure his suit was perfect. I tied it all together with some touch-ups. We are good to go. Now for some detail on the base. I wanted to add a fireplace in the center, something to cast an ominous light onto our creepy subject. I grabbed the styrofoam cup, cut out a little circle, and etched some stones into the damn thing. I painted it with some different browns along with some grays. After that, I gave it a wash and we had ourselves a little stone fire pit. I glued down the fire pit. Then I added some vegetation to the ground, just a nice burnt colored grass. After that, I added some longer grass to where the trees were going to be. For the trees, I wanted to have a spooky forest feel, so I got some sticks. I cut them all to a uniform length. I didn't want any foliage on the trees. I put some pins at the bottom of the trees to give them some stability. Added some junk to the ground to make it look like we were in a forest, and then glued it all together. I wanted to make it feel like Slender Man just walked up on some campers and gave them a good scare. So I wanted to add some OSL.
OSL? What's OSL?
Well, that means object source lighting. Object source lighting basically means you have let's say you have a torch. We're going to use my background light for an example. We have a torch and we're holding it in our hand. The light that is emitting from this shining onto my face. It's a very simple idea of having a light source in your diorama on your mini, and you want it to depict that it's giving off some sort of light. So you paint it in a way where it looks like the red light coming from our torch is shining onto my face. It adds a bit more realism into your miniatures, and it's kind of a cool effect. So on the Slender Man himself, I started with a base of orange. I only added the paint where I thought the firelight would hit him. I took a few coats of orange to show up, but I'd rather do more coats than accidentally overdo it with the color. After the base coat of orange was done, I started adding some brighter yellows towards his legs. I did this since his legs would be the closest thing to the fire. After that, I added some reddish highlights on his lapel and some orange under his chin. Once I was finished with the Slender Man, I did the same thing with the trees. Add a base of orange to the spots that would have some firelight on them, and then gradually got brighter and brighter. I wanted the scene feel enclosed and kind of claustrophobic, so I made a frame out of some foam core. I painted all the pieces black, and then added some thin wood on the edges of the foam to hide some of my bad cuts. Once I had the frame and everything put together on this, I realized that with the frame it added so much shadow that you really couldn't see anything. It kind of canceled out all the object source lighting we painted on. A little disappointing. I mean, if there's a light shining directly on it, you can see it, but if it's in the shadows, it just looks, I mean, it still looks spooky, but doesn't look as good as I wanted it to. So, what I needed to do, add a light. I built everything, now I have to add a light. How am I gonna do that? To get some light in there, I drilled a little hole underneath the base of the diorama where I thought the campfire would be. I put an LED in there. The light that it gave off was a little bit too bright for my liking, so I painted the LED with an orange paint to give it the color that I wanted. I made a fire out of the end of a Q-tip, glued it on top, and we have ourselves a nice and spooky diorama. So another diorama in the books. I think this one came out, this was one of my favorite ones that I've done in a long time. I like the Yeti one, don't get me wrong. Really enjoyed that one, but this one just has, I don't know, something about it I really love. Really happy with it. So much fun to make. The OSL is okay, definitely could use a little bit of practice, but all in all, I think it came out really good. So if you guys like this video, make sure you hit that thumb, give me a like, leave a comment down below if you guys want to see anything. If there's anything you want to see in miniature, let me know. I'd love to do it. Maybe one of your comments might inspire me to make something new. You guys can follow me on Instagram at TinyTimsMinis. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, get a notification whenever I put out a new video. Put out a new video every 1st and 15th of the month. What are we doing next week? You won't know until you hit that bell. Get that notification and hit subscribe. Alright, I'll see you guys next week.